Happy Sunday, everyone. I am hoping this is the first time we have no audio issues. So let's do a quick check if everyone can hear me. Hopefully. If this is my first time with no audio issues, I am going to be so excited. I'm waiting. Your feedback's a little bit delayed, so hoping, crossing my fingers. Little Dika's here. We're gonna yay, he can hear me. Cool. We're all gonna force little Dika into something in a little bit. I'll explain. But let's go ahead and get the game started up. So I'm gonna go pretty quickly through the doors just because they're fairly simple. And then I wanted to spend a little bit of time on my work in progress, most specifically the Fabulously Filthy Part 2, just because I have quite a few items and I've been doing so much with it and I don't know where to stop myself. And yeah, so I need your feedback. But yay, perfect audio, you guys, the first time. This is a huge celebration. I actually too downloaded, I spent like a few hours configuring my audio before this and to get some noise suppression so you couldn't hear my computer as much. So hopefully we will have better audio going forward. So I actually pre-built a little bit of a lot to show you some of these items. This is actually my favorite lot in this world. Although my sister did show me recently, she's doing Rags to Riches for the first time. And she told me there's like a bunker under the airplane, which I never knew, which is pretty cool. But thank you everyone for being here. Let's take a look at these garage doors. So I had so many requests for these over the years, and I didn't really know much about object animation. Panda Sama, who is a wonderful person and animator, has helped me with quite a few things. Actually, the first animated object I made was a sprinkler, which little Dika actually textured and made that object for me, and I never released it. It's in my my graveyard, like many other things. So one day we'll bring that out. But I spent a lot of time figuring out how to animate these doors. So, yeah, they're pretty simple. They work like regular doors. So if you click on them, you can lock the door, set as front door, all of that good stuff. The other cool thing is they do have an inventory. So you can open them up and you'll see this has an inventory right here. So we'll just grab this fruitcake someone left. And yeah, you can just drag and drop into here. I gave this an inventory type that actually it slows decay of at least the food items, anything consumable. You cannot store photos in here. And I've actually for a long time been working on an overhaul of my Hoarder Synonymous because I know there is an issue with photos turning black. So I specifically chose an inventory type that you could not put photos in here. There are two different styles. This one uses a lot of textures from City Living. So this one does require City Living, but there is a base game compatible version. But essentially they work the exact same, just more swatches on the City Living. And let me go ahead and I'm going to turn on the Faye just asked, is it a shared inventory? No, it is not a shared inventory. It is separated. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure, turn on some audio for this so you can hear, because I actually didn't have any audio with these doors at first, but I ended up adding some audio at the very end just because I wanted them to actually like sound like garage doors. So let me turn this up for you. And hopefully, cool. So we should be able to hear this. Okay. So, yeah, they work just like regular doors. So you can walk in and out of them freely. Oh, I think I locked her in here because I'm in Strangerville and all of those people were coming in and out. So let's unlock her. And you can see it just opens and closes like a regular door, just like any other door. And we'll get a little bit closer so you can hear it. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. And the way I did this, if you can see, let me try and pause it. I paused it too late, but I didn't want a lot of the doors in the game, they actually slide to the left or right, so it takes up more space. And if you can see here, the door doesn't go above the wall height. So that way it doesn't like go into the floor above it. So it like kind of squishes a little bit, but it goes so quick. I mean, I couldn't even pause in time to show you, but you can kind of see here, it squishes a little bit, but the part that's visible stays totally normal. But yeah, I did that specifically just because I didn't want the door like going up to the next level. And these kind of specifically I called it Landgraab self-storage. It was hard to come up with a pun name, but I thought that Landgraab self-storage would be not a pun name, but at least a clever name. But these do specifically look like, kind of storage utility doors. So little Dika's here in the chat. So let's all tell him how much we want him to make a garage door for these. The nice thing is with all of my tuning and all my files, I let any creator use my tuning files. This specifically has custom animations, but the nice thing is you can kind of use them just like a recolor. So any creator can create their own garage door. All they would need to do is clone this object, and it works like a recolor. So you just need to have my original garage doors in your mods folder, but then any creator can create their own garage doors, because I know everyone would really like to have kind of like the typical house garage doors. So Kaimelon says it stores items plus leads to a room you can live in. Yeah. So it acts like a regular door and storage. So it's basically just like a regular door with storage. There are really cool swatches with the city living one. I love all of these. So I added all of the ones I could find in city living. And with the base game one, there's one that looks kind of like a new door, but all of this originally came, I was making this for Fabulously Filthy Part 2, but I know a lot of people have wanted this for a really long time, so that is why I ended splitting it off. But you can see there's some kind of grungy swatches too. So yeah, you could definitely use that. I think in the description I put something about, so more storage, you got it. Rent a unit for a reasonable price to store your extensive My Sims collection that has your family worried. Just don't be late on rent, or you may see your belongings being auctioned away on Plum Bob pickers. Living in the storage units is strictly prohibited. So I thought it'd be fun, if you wanted to do a rags to riches challenge, you could basically use this as your front door. You can actually set it as your front door, so you could have them live in here. So yeah, so you can set it as your front door. And I price them pretty reasonably as well. So yeah, I think that's about covers these. Staff says, nice, but how do you put the tuning files in the game then? So essentially, if another creator wanted to make garage doors, all they would need to do is make the object. They could just clone my garage doors, and as long, and so similar to a recolor, when you need to have the original file, you would just need to have my garage doors. So my garage door package files contain the custom animations and the tuning. And then any other creator who made a garage door, you would just need to have both files, my original files and theirs, for it to work. Sabayla actually does this a lot. Like, she made a spiral staircase that used my elevator portal tuning. So she actually uses my tuning quite a bit. So yeah, it's just like a recolor. Faye, do you need to own the item to use the storage? Can we store things in them if they were on a community lot? I think that you can just drag and drop in live mode. I actually didn't tune or check that. I'll have to check that and get back to you. I don't see why they wouldn't. There is no restriction for inventory where it is located. There is limitations on some interactions. They're called get put. So actually having your sim animate like to grab things out of inventory and put them in inventory. But for these, I made them all live draggable. So you can just kind of live drag and drop them in. Marzi, another thing, I love peer pressure. I think it'd be amazing if Dika chose to do so. Yeah, I know. I'm peer pressuring him too because he's a way better object creator and texture than myself. So yeah, if you guys have more questions, let me know. But I wanted to spend a little bit of time on Fabulously Filthy Part 2, which I've noticed I've been kind of saying filthy fabulous or fabulously filthy. So I mean the same thing. I just keep mixing them up. The Sims Design asks, is it possible to let the door open? I'm guessing you mean leave the door open. And I'll spend a little bit more time trying to get that to work. I did spend quite a bit of time trying to get the door to stay open and also function as a door still. It's a little bit hard. If you guys know the vaults that came with, I think it was Get Famous, those ones open and close, like they stay open, but they don't function as regular doors. Like when you open it, they just stay open. They don't work with going in and out automatically. So I will give that another shot. I've got kind of a lot going on in my life right now. I'm moving this week, so I released them as they were for now, but it is something I definitely want to add to the future. I could always make something like that would be essentially an arch instead of a door and add that. But it just, at this point, it wouldn't also have the animations. The cool thing that is this also works when you're on a bike. So we'll have her bike here, which, by the way, it is so annoying. Why do the Sims put the bike in their inventory when they're done with them? Like, I don't know if there's a way to not have them do that, but it's like, just leave the bike where it is. See? She puts the kickstand down. Just leave it. You don't need to put it in your inventory. There's no reason. But with that being said, let's talk about Fabulously Filthy Part 2. One of the items that was requested actually was a bike, which I'm glad I brought this out because it reminded me. So I was creating kind of like a rusty, really worn down version of the bike. So that's one item. I don't have that in here. Oh, okay. And sorry to jump topics real quick. I did make these doors so that they don't always show when walls are down. I don't know if y'all have a preference of these being visible or not when walls are down or up. So right now they get hidden. If you all really want them in the way or want them to show when walls are up, let me know. I can always add that back. So, so the rusty bike, I don't know if y'all, as I go through these items, please go in the comments if you really love the item or love the idea for Filthy Fabulous Part 2 or not. What I really need to do is kind of focus and down select because I have so many items, like work in progress for this set that I need to I need to reduce the amount of items there are, otherwise I'll never finish them. So as I talk about these, let me know what you want or not. All of these items in here are finished already, so don't worry about those. Michaela, thanks for coming. Even if you're late, that's totally fine. Let me put some lights in here. Also, a few updates. I will be posting an update on... Let me turn down the game music. For Fabulously Filthy Part 1 soon, because guess what? I figured out how to do. You see this right here? Sims no longer can just nap on these beds. They can actually sleep fully. So, I think she's smelling the fruitcake. But so, yeah, they can fully sleep on the beds just as normal. I wish she was a little bit more tired so it lasts longer. Their energy does increase pretty slowly just because it's an uncomfortable bed. But before, I think naps were limited to like 30 minutes. So I spent a bunch of time and figured out how to make it so they can fully sleep and get a full night's rest. Okay, on to some of the new items. So I've already showed you the punching bag. We have like this broken mirror thing. I made a bathtub. It just looks really dirty. I'm not sure how much I love it, but you guys, JC Sims is here. If you don't follow JC Sims on YouTube, please go follow him because he is wonderful and so nice and kind and just a very positive person, and we love him. JC Sims, put your link to your YouTube in the comments so everyone can go follow. But yeah, I'm not like sold on this bathtub. I think I need to do something else with it. I don't know. I don't love it, but I know you guys wanted a bathtub, so I did that. I found some items. I got quite a few requests for kids items for kind of rags to riches stuff. And these items are actually, if you know the kids' school projects, there's different levels of how well the outcome is. And these ones are like the worst quality ones. But I thought they worked really well as kind of low, less expensive toys. So this is actually a dollhouse made of cardboard. And then this is a toy kids can actually play with. So I edited them a little bit. This had like a bunch of stuff under it. But yeah, so these are toys for kids that are low cost and they kind of like look, handmade. This is out of a toy kids can. So I made those. I'm just going to move those out of the way. Another update that I'll be able to post it today, but I made it so this toilet doesn't catch on fire anymore every time you use it. And I also will post a fix overall. I figured out what makes all of the toilets combustible or catch on fire. So essentially what it is every time you flush a toilet, it does a check to see if you have the composting upgrade on it. And if you do, if you do have the upgrade, but you don't have an insect farm anywhere on the lot, it will always catch on fire. And then if you do have an insect farm on the lot, there's all of this probability of what chance and how recently did you clean it out that it'll catch on fire. So I fixed it for this specifically, but I'll probably release just like a single object, maybe like I was thinking just like maybe a plunger or something you can put on your lot that'll essentially meet the requirements so it doesn't so nothing catches on fire. And that'll work for all toilets. This is a radio. It doesn't, or stereo. I'm just lifting it up to get closer. It doesn't break in the weather. It is portable. It's cheap. And it works off the grid. You don't need power for it because I assume you put batteries in it is what I am telling myself or how I justified it. So let me turn up the audio on this again. Oh, I wonder if it's because it's up high. There should be, I just tested this right before. Why isn't it working? It should have like little music notes coming out of it. Let's see. Oh, maybe turn on. Okay, this is using most of the default stereo tuning. What? I don't get the difference between turn on and listen to. I don't know. Maybe you guys tell me. I feel like the listen to shouldn't be available until it's turned on, but... Okay, there we go. You see? You see? It's got these little music notes that come out of it. I had to find a VFX that didn't look like massive compared to the stereo. So yeah, it's just a little portable stereo. Because I know having items that entertained your Sims was important. So made that. H Prune, also H Prune, you are here every week. Thanks for being here. And Magic Ace, also here every week. Thank you. Magic Ace says, I'm pumped about my kids not causing fires with urine. Yeah, I didn't realize it was such a problem. But yeah. Magic says, listen to is to stop what you're doing and listen. Turn on lets you keep doing what you're doing. Oh, interesting. Okay. Good to know. Okay, so yeah, we have the broken mirror. So these are some entertainment things, right? This, I described it a while ago, but basically this is a base game item, but it was, I think it was $1,600. It was really expensive, and it had like ninja stars in it. And I think it was a career unlockable, but it looks pretty dingy. So I edited, removed the stars, and made it low cost so you have something to work out with. I edited this laundry basket. So let's see. This is what the regular one looks like with some neatly folded clothes. So I ended up just making this kind of look like some junky clothes, and it just works as a dresser. So this will be a dresser for Fabulously Filthy Part 2. I'll also make sure like all of these items can go into the inventory. So I think I also made, I'm telling you, there's so much stuff, so. I also started making, my sister just started playing to Rags to Riches, and she said she wanted a partition for privacy. I don't know how important that is for everyone. Please let me know. Poca, we're glad you made it. Welcome to your first Ravasheen live stream. But I did make these curtains. I wasn't sure, like, the best way to put them. Like, right now I have it as a curtain, but obviously you can also place it anywhere else. I might have a bad shadow map on this because there's some weird lighting going on. But I thought maybe there's, like, these Let me go find and debug. Oh, and here's another version. Let me go into debug real quick. There are these really cool chain link fences. I think they're in Strangerville. Find them. So I don't know if I know there's these fences people normally use from debug, but I didn't know how many people knew about these other chain link fences. Of course, I can't find them right now. Where are they? So I see a lot of people using ones like these. I don't think they have the barbed wire on the top, but dang it. Maybe it isn't in this pack. Anyways, I thought it might be useful if you wanted to hang these like on a fence or I don't know. So right now I have them kind of working as curtains, but if you have another idea, let me know. The other thing I got stuck on is I was like, well, how would I make this mount to a wall? With this one, I gave it kind of like a rope and nails. So maybe I could put nails along the top, or a lot of curtains actually have like this little bar along the top. Let me find one like this. So I could also do something like that, you know, make a little, obviously not that big, but make a little bar that holds it up. So yeah, really the practicality of how this is hung is what I'm a little bit stuck on right now. Abigail knows the chain fences I'm talking about. Yeah, so I wanted to separate those as, you know, kind of to build like a little outdoor home. So let me just catch up on some messages. Lady, you should try using the placement from Living divider curtains. So I thought about those too, but those hang from the ceiling. So if you didn't have a ceiling, I think I know which ones you're talking about. So if you didn't have a ceiling, then those wouldn't necessarily work. And then also they come, you know, they're like in these different sizes. So then I would need to make 3 of the same object, which I feel like is just a lot of clutter for you guys. Yeah, Sims Baby Forever. Can you add a swatch with holes and rips? Yes. That's another item I have. I don't have it in here, but I made some wall grunge for that. Faye says you can put ringlets with rope to hang the curtains. Yeah, that was another idea I had too, but then I didn't know if it would make sense for the wall. I don't know. I think I overthink most things. So, but if you guys like the rope ringlet ideas, nails, I can do all of that. Let me see what else I have on my list. Give me one sec, guys. I have to let my dog out. Okay, sorry about that. I am back. Billy says, what about a freestanding arch lumber made? Yeah, so I do want to do some sort of like shelter. So yeah, I need to figure that. That's why this set is taking a long time, because I'm just like taking forever trying to figure out how to put all of this together. Okay, I'm sorry. One more second, guys. I have to let my dog outside now. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back. She's been like calmly sleeping next to me for 5 hours and then all of a sudden needs to go out. Um, well, they weren't curtains, they were throws. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Hannah. Cardboard tent says creatively insane. There is a tent with this. I could make this a functional tent. I think around The Sims 4 already did that though. But yeah, I've actually worked on some gazebo style stuff with like 4 posts. You know, essentially like not this, but something like this. And I actually, sorry, I just ran up the stairs like 3 times. Um, I actually coated it so it gives you some protection from the rain. And if you're under it and like you're a vampire, it gets you out of the sun. So it has quite a bit of those features. So, but I need to figure out what to make it look like. Lance said, are you thinking of releasing the phone by itself? I can. So this, you guys are looking into my mind right now, the chaos that I have going on because, oh, I don't have it in here. I showed it a few streams ago. It was a public phone. So my thought was, I have this kiosk, which I've gone over a few times. It basically lets you travel, sell items, buy some items. So it lets you sell craftables, stuff like that. And I was thinking of making like a public utility kind of set. So originally I was going to put like the public phone on this wall, and then I thought a community board might be fun. This is just, I was just messing around with the community board from City Living, and I put like a little glass thing on it because someone had suggested being able to like post for lost pets and get odd jobs, stuff like that. So my thought was I would do like a community set with a public phone, the public mailbox, and this community board. So yeah, those should be almost done too. So Billy says the arch would be 3 4x4 or 8 lumbers on 2x4 long. Then we could build an area of curtains for privacy. Yeah. So it would be just like 4 posts, and then you could put like cover the sides however you wanted to, essentially. Or are you saying are you suggesting actually making like an arch as in a door? That way you could kind of make your own shelter? Is that what you mean? Okay, let me see what else I had in my notes. Oh, and I know the last thing is a sink. I know a sink. You guys, Sabilet's here. Let's all peer pressure Sabilet into making garage doors as well. So as soon as I posted them, she's like, oh, can I make garage doors? So I would assume you can expect to see some garage doors from her soon as well. Mystical Raven said the half airplane and debug that you wanted to use as a shelter, was that something you decided against now? No, I didn't actually. The tuning, I don't have it in here because it's been so long. But the tuning I spent a long time ago. I spent a long time on it a while ago. And like I said before, it essentially gives you shelter from weather. So you know how like Sims run inside when it's raining, so they'll actually run under the shelter if it's nearby, and it dries them off. It provides them a little bit of warmth if it's raining or snowing out. And I once I got that tuning done, I was gonna add it to the airplane and also the shipwreck. So, but I probably will make it a little bit smaller because that airplane is really huge. So yeah. But I know some people asked for some pet stuff for Fabulously Filthy, but I think at this point I probably need to like confine it to what I have for now. Abigail, yes, adding a sink for sure, but I'll probably release it at least with like these core items now, because then I also need to, I'm going to release the kiosk separately just because this is a lot of tuning and it's got a lot of parts to it. So I think I'll release Fabulously Filthy Part 2, and then the kiosk, and then the community items. And I think that should wrap up all of my stuff that I have that's like a work in progress. And then that way I can move on to Celebration needs a lot of fixes. Not fixes, but improvements. And then I can finally release Hoarders Synonymous part, or the update for it. And quite a few other things that I've had on hold since wedding and going down this route. So, but yeah, so I think if there's any, a fan, yeah, to keep cool. Yeah, I do. Actually, there is someone who's working on something. I don't know if he's announced it yet, so I won't say it. But he's working on something that would have that function. So I might not include it only because I know his is coming out really soon. Polka NYC, any chance that you're still working on the PB&J photo frame? So yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, PB&J got real busy with school and I am taking over her frames. So right now, there's an issue where photos that go into them, they go into the inventory. I'm pretty sure when you reload the lot or something. And so I'm fixing that. I'm doing a lot of changes, but I have to get through, like, my graveyard folder is very huge, and all of these items I've spent so long on, and I don't want them to go to the graveyard. So I'm really trying to wrap these up in the next few days and get them out. That way I can move on to the Hoarders update and like the PB&J photo frames. Yes, and Abigail, so the Hoarders update, not only will it have more items, it's going to have a fix for the photos and a way to transfer inventories, because I know stuff gets stuck in the inventory, especially when you go to college, stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'll be adding quite a few more items. Staff, is Lot 51 the system you're talking about? Maybe. Has he announced it? I plead the fifth on that. Would any of this happen to be compatible with the Sims version before this last update? So most of my stuff really doesn't break with updates, just because I do all of my own custom tuning. I don't do scripting. I don't really rely on any of the Sims tuning. I create all my own tuning files. So typically any errors that come up with my files are errors I've made, not necessarily breaks with patches. So as far as I know, everything still works. Marzi. Okay, Marzi says, I know I've asked this before, but I would sell my right kidney for a mod or CC that charges money to remove furniture. Yeah, I've been trying to think about a good way to do that. I don't know, maybe I could have a service you could call that does that. You mean just like because when you delete stuff, it just gives you money? Is that why? Is that what you're talking about? Cajun Beauty, bit off topic. Would love to have a base game fireplace, cooking type stove. Can that be done? So the thing with craftables is that they each have their own recipe. They're the biggest pain ever. They're it's not just the object. Each one of them has their own recipe, and the recipe actually defines how it's made. So its recipe will say, oh, it uses a stove, it uses these animations. So anytime you want to like create a food in a different way, you have to go and recreate all those recipes. So, I mean, I could do a cooking thing on a fireplace, but it would, I don't think I could do, it would have to meet certain constraints. That's kind of like why the barrel I made, this is, I know it's not a fireplace, but it's base game compatible. And I sized it this way and put this top on here because it matches the grill sizes. Right? So like this, they're at the same height, they're kind of the same size. So it let me reuse all of the grilling recipes without having to make their own. Marzi, because when you do reno challenges, you take a rundown house filled with stuff, but by the time you clear the house, you basically have all the money you need. Marzi, you should, I know you've asked this a few times, hop in my Discord server so we can talk about this a little bit more. Billy, a workbench that can refurbish burnt furniture. I'm glad you mentioned that. Hopefully I have it in here. So part of, I don't. Maybe I did. Let's see. I've showed it in a few of my previous, oh yeah, here we go. So I've shown this in a few of my previous videos, but this is an item that you can, you'll be able to purchase from here. It says empty right now. Ignore that. Because I'm going to make it have a limited number of uses, but essentially what it does, let's just catch this bad boy on fire. I don't even know where my girl is. Okay. Let's call fire department. Let's have them put it out. There we go. Okay, so now that this is burnt, she can go put this in. Oh, I was messing with a few different ways to do this. So right now it's not perfect, but what you can do is repair burnt state. Click on that, and like that should disappear. It should not be there. But if you see, she's like cleaning it up. So that is something that I'll probably release it with Filthy Fabulous, but I'm going to make it so you can purchase from here. But it's going to have a limited number of uses, just like any other spray bottle. So, so it's a little bit more realistic. Because I know you can get these from dumpsters, and there's not a great way to fix them. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's about it. But so yeah, I have a lot to work on, a lot of stuff. So if anyone ends up watching this later, please leave me all of the feedback about these items in the comments. I, with that, am going to head off for today just because, as you can see, I have a lot of work to do. But I will post, let everyone know when I get the update out for Filthy Fabulous Part 1. That includes the sleeping interaction and the toilet not catching on fire. That I should be able to do today. And then the rest of these, I really, really am trying to get them out in the next few days. I'm trying my best. We'll see what I can accomplish. But thank you all, as always, for being here today. We had no audio issues today. We had none. It's a first. It's an accomplishment. And it sounds like the audio was better, everyone said. So that makes me so happy. But thank you all for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. And I will see you next week. Bye.